Well, happy Soggy Sunday, Oaklawn race fans. We are glad that you are back with us today. We were forced to cancel racing and training yesterday because a mass rain front came into the area, and I know that where my mom lives, not far from here, the water was over the bridge to get into her condo complex. So, yeah, very happy that everybody is safe and sound. I'm sure you got to see the lake go up quite a bit at your house.
Yep. Yeah, I think they might have taken some water out because the level looks pretty good right now, but it was pounding hard, that rain on the water. A very peaceful way to go to sleep, but very unfortunate that we couldn't run races.
Yes, but nonetheless, we are back here at it today, and they had training today, and we are going to start over a muddy track. So let's go ahead and take a look at our weather conditions for this Soggy Sunday. Track is listed as muddy, winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour, and it is definitely cooled off currently at 46 degrees, and there is still a chance of rain showers. But I'm optimistic, Matt, that we will get through the card today without any more precipitation than we have had.
I think so.
I hope so.
It looks like it's if there is precipitation, it doesn't look like there's going to be much of it.
Yes, yeah, just a few sprinkles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our news page, which was from this past Friday when we raced. We do want to congratulate owner-trainer Steve Asmussen, who had a double teaming up with Eric in the irons, and Francisco Arrieta still on a tear as he earned a riding triple. So he is just getting closer to Christian Torres. Enjoy discount days. Today is our first one, including April 13th and April 27th. Free parking, excluding valet, free programs, and $1 hot dogs. So Caliente Star today hopes to remain undefeated in the Rainbow Miss Stakes, and Rock Solo takes on Arkansas Breds in the Rainbow Stakes. That is now race number 12, and the draw today for the Apple Blossom Handicap and the Count Fleet Sprint Handicap. Very exciting. Maybe later in the race card we can be talking about those. But it does look, I believe, the other day when I was talking to our stakes coordinator, Mikey, I think they were expecting 6 or 7 to go in against Anna. So I said, how many are going to run against Anna? Because that's the big question is who's going to come in, and we'll find out later today.
Yeah, well, they're going to draw probably in the next couple hours here for that. The Count Fleet, of course, our biggest sprint stake for male sprinters. You can be a filly or mare and run in it, but most of the time they run in the matron. But if you're around the area, you want to come to Oaklawn on Saturday. We're going to have a great card. We're going to be highlighting Torpedo Anna. Of course, she's the headliner. One of the fastest horses in the world. Not often do you get to see a horse of the year run live, so make sure to come here to Oaklawn on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic day, and the weather looks amazing. So really excited to have some good weather. We'll be back in the infield, which is obviously closed today. Let's go ahead and get started with our 12 race card. We'll be talking about our top selections, and we start the opener with Arkansas bred 3 and up that have started for a claiming price of $20,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, and they are set to go 1 mile and a 16th. Did have a scratch of the number 6 Butchie Boy, which, Matt, we're going to start out with a field of 9.
A field of 9 going 2 turns, and my top pick is Where's Randy, adding blinkers. This horse was disqualified after winning a $20,000 non-2 lifetime race against state breds. Ducked out, and it wasn't Tyler Bacon's fault. He's back aboard today. This horse is just a real quirky horse. I mean, he just, in these 20 non-2s, I mean, 3 starts ago, he got a bad trip. He should have won that day. Last time out, he ducked out when he had the race won for non-2 and was disqualified. Adding the blinkers today, he's been a little bit frustrating with some rough luck trips, but one of these days he's going to get there, and I'm hoping today is the day. And I like that they're protecting him here. That means that Randy doesn't want him claimed off this.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the number 3, just the inside of Matt. Great Barrier, seeing if Steve Asmussen and Eric can get off to a early start on the Sunday card. Does race off of a 70-day layoff. Broke the maiden sprinting 6 furlongs 2 races back, and a closing 6th versus tougher first little allowance last out when stretching out to the mile. I like that little bit of added real estate for this horse's running style, and does get some class relief dropping into a starter here this afternoon. So that's race number 1, the first leg of the early 50-cent pick 5. The 50-cent pick 4 starts with race number 2. This is a state bred 3 and up, non-winners of 3 or runners that have not won a race since December 5th. That is also opening day. $15,000 is the claim price, and they will sprint 6 furlongs in distance. No changes in the field of 9.
Well, the early daily double is an Arkansas bred early daily
Yes, it
double.
is.
We're going to celebrate the Arkansas breds later on as well with the Rainbow and Rainbow Miss Stakes. So we've got 2 stakes today. But we look at this second race, the sprint. I'm picking Blame JD, who thrives on the wet going, 3 for 6. And I'm imagining, Nancy, that's one of the reasons why you probably keyed in on this horse. Also comes out of a race in which there were 3 next out winners.
Very
comes
impressive.
Out of a key race, and I think he's tactical. He can go to the front. He can stalk. He doesn't have as great form this year as last year, but he's getting back on the wet track, and he's getting Rocco Bowen aboard. And he ran at this level again with those 3 next out winners. So it's going to be tough to say that this is going to be a tougher spot at the same condition than last time, given how well so many horses have come out of there to do.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of drop in condition, and the 5-time winner does exit his best effort since scoring over the slop last April when facing today's similar conditions. So yeah, Matt and I thinking alike in race number 2. Race number 3 also set to go 6 furlongs. 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in the life, and they're in for the claiming price of $12,500. We did have a scratch of the 1, which leaves now a very interesting group of 10.
Well, it is interesting because you've got the top 2 choices on the morning line, Devilish Desire and CPG. On class, on speed figures, on paper, they just look faster than the others. And I'm going to take Devilish Desire, 9-5, the second choice on the morning line here. 1 for 1 on the wet going. That was over a good surface, so it's not quite as wet when he won that day. But nonetheless, we know that he can run well with some moisture in the ground. This horse broke his maiden 3 starts ago, then came back and ran second for 59-2. Did not run well last time out at the same level, and now he's in for 12-5. Learning how these trainers play the poker game. Different trainers have different habits. We saw it with Cowan last race day with David Jacobson, dropping in class, getting a win, and a lot of times when he gets aggressive like this, he's trying to get a win. So when I see him putting the chips in that he thinks he has a good hand, I'm probably going to be a little bit careful if I was at the table. So in this case, I'm going to play thinking that he's putting this horse in to try to win.
Well, Matt and I are both going with the favorites. I'm going to go with the other one, that the morning line favorite. That's the number 11, CPG, Ron Moquet, legging up jockey Rafael Bejarano. Does just have 1 start over a wet track, but Sire Army Mule is 20% effective with off-track runners. Twice beaten favorite. That's always a little bit of a concern versus slightly tougher, though, non-2 for 20,000. Looks like the speed, but could maybe have some company on the front end as there is speed just to his inside out of the starting gate. So CPG it is for me in the 3rd. Race number 4 is a 12-5 starter for 4 and up, set to go 6 furlongs, and this is an extremely competitive group of 8. You could almost make a case for any in this particular field.
You can. I think this is a strong starter allowance race, and I'm picking a horse that I pick often. His name is El Diablo Rojo, because I think there's a lot of pace in this race. Mr. Puck, Espionage, without objection. They're all speedy. El Diablo Rojo actually hasn't run bad races. He won 4 starts ago at a starter allowance condition and ran very well. 3 starts ago, the last time we saw him on a wet track, he was second behind the Ride of a Lifetime, who's a very nice horse. 2 starts ago, for whatever reason, he found himself on the lead, and he's a horse that wants targets to run at, so I crossed that race out. Tactically, things just didn't set up for him. And last time out, he sat well off the pace after breaking slowly, came with a flying finish for 3rd, and Raymond, who won the race, I would think if he was running in a race like this, Raymond would be favorite. So with the pace projected to be quick, I think El Diablo Rojo can run on into it.
Well, I landed on the David Jacobson runner. The number 4, Espionage, does get Ricardo Santana in the irons, looking for back-to-back wins, and joins the barn off the claim. They obviously liked their investment, stepping him up into starter allowance company. He actually won at this level last spring and has won 2 of 3 races when contesting off tracks and can be tactical. That's definitely one thing that I like to see, and especially we see David Jacobson stepping this horse up, which he has had success doing at the current meeting. Race number 5 is a 12-5 beaten claimer, 4-year-olds and up, either non-winners of a race since June 5th or non-winners of 3, and they're going to contest 6 furlongs in the 50-cent pick 5, as we do have a full field of 12 just scratching are also eligible.
Yep, so we've got an interesting race to decipher here because Ducali, who's the favorite, this horse Nancy was running in second-level allowance races and hitting the board routing. But he's sprinted too, and he comes off a 6-month break. Now he's in for 12-5. This is something that you really have to scratch your head here and say, what is going on here? Because if he runs his race, he'll win by open lengths. But if he's in for 12-5, it's like, you know what I equate it to, Nancy? It's like if you've got a collector's item of some sort, and it's worth maybe $1,000. You're not going to give the collector's item away for $100.
Right.
So if a horse is dropping this significantly in class, they're not just giving them away if somebody claims them just for the heck of it to get a little win here. So I question what kind of horse he is off this layoff. I don't think he's going to be the same horse, but maybe he doesn't need to be to win. I'm going to try to beat him on the win end with easy action, a horse that does not have good form right now. However, I look at his last race. I thought he was too close to the pace that day when dropping in class. He gets another class drop here. I think he's going to be sitting off the pace. He's run well in the wet going. So I think really for me the class drop and at 8-1 on the morning line, if we get somewhere around there with the poor recent form, I'm going to take it.
Chris Hartman has a pair that are taking significant drops in class today, and one of those is Ducal. Races off 189 days, but when coming off similar layoffs, the barn fires at 24%. I was a little, a myth when we see this horse not taking option of the waiver, which means he can run off of a significant amount and not race for the tag. But they do have this runner in for the tag. Was second to Horace Mann, who in his next start back in September won a 3 other than. Those are extremely salty races. But a lightly raced 7-year-old is taking the lowest drop in his career. Not with a Chris Hartman barn, I'm not as concerned as maybe a few other barns that might be doing so. So coming off the layoff, they're wanting to reinvest in other horses. And also when returning from sprinter route, the barn is 22% and is going to try the off-go for the second time in his career. Race number 6 is for 3 and up, maiden claiming 12-5. Arkansas breds will race for the claiming price of $20,000. They'll go 6 furlongs in this first leg of the 50-cent pick 4.
We will. 10 runners in this race, and Nancy made a good point. When we have 11 or more races, there's going to be an extra pick 4 and pick 5 in there. So the horse players remember that. You got a middle pick 4 and middle pick 5 today as well, and this kicks off, indeed, the middle pick 4. We're going to go to the outside and take a journey over to Handsome Herb. Drawn outside. Now he's in the 10 hole here. Moves to the barn of Greg Compton. Just like Ducali, taking a very aggressive drop. This horse coming out of different races, obviously, is a maiden, but he's running maiden special weights, maiden optional, claiming 75 most recently. He hasn't been anywhere close to being good enough to win those races. So in for 12-5, this is not suspicious for me. I think they're really just getting aggressive in the entry box. First start for the new barn, saying, let's win a race. And hopefully they can get it done. But I think this is the right spot for this horse.
Yeah, I totally agree, Matt. It does get the age advantage of a 4-year-old. And with this barn, horse actually debuts today for the Compton barn, who is 17% with those new acquisitions. And taking that lowest drop in the career is a huge move forward. And I also like the outside post for this particular runner with this style of running. So we'll see if Handsome Herb can live up to his name, with Matt and I having hopefully the cold superfecta in race number 6.
I didn't even notice
How about that? We're going to take a quick break here on this soggy Sunday, Oaklawn Today, and we'll be right back with race number 7.
Experience the excitement of horse racing with Oaklawn Anywhere. If you're an Arkansas resident, you can watch and wager on horse racing from around the globe, whether you're at home or on the go, with any smartphone, laptop, or tablet, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Oaklawn Anywhere app and register for a sign-up bonus. With access to past performances, live video, race replays, and expert handicapping data, you're always in the know with no subscription fees. Bet online anytime with Oaklawn Anywhere, exclusively available to Arkansans. Right, Max? Oaklawn Anywhere. Our season never ends. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
those stakes. Strike Ridge with a head lead. Landlord on the outside is charging. Patton's Tizzy, tenacious on the inside. Patton's Tizzy, Landlord on the outside to decide it. Coming late, Shea Whiz, but it's too late. Here comes the line. Photo finish. Very tight. Photo finish in the rainbow.
We do have 2 stakes on the program this afternoon, but first we need to get to race number 7, which it kicks off the first leg of our late 50-cent pick 5. This is a beaten 12-5, 4 and up, has not won a race since June 5th, or which have not won 3 lifetime. They are going to go 1 mile in distance. Did have a couple scratches of number 6, 12, and the 13.
Still with a good-sized field of 10 here, Nancy. And my top pick in this race is JVB for the Tom Van Berg barn. We got CPG that's running earlier in the day. There's another horse that is a name like that. So JVB, I need to make sure I get that one right. But this horse comes out of a race in which there were 3 next out winners. Stalked the pace, dueled, and then faded badly. So off a 6.5-month break here, I give him a pass because maybe something physically went amiss where they had to give him some time. He's in for 12.5, so dropping in class today. But his best races can beat this field here, so I'm going to take a stab with him. Also, he's 0 for 16 on a fast dirt track, but he's 1 for 6 on the wet going. He doesn't win often. I usually don't pick horses like this. 2 for 30, 10 seconds, 6/3, but he's dropping.
Something about days like this, it's like some of those big prices come up, and your morning line favorites are always vulnerable, but especially I think on days like this. Well, my long shot did scratch out of this one. I was initially on the number 12 Southern Sunset, who is not going to race today. So my second choice, I'm just going to make that my long shot play of the day. That's the number 11 Logical Myth. Steve Asmussen legs up Jockey Keith. I'm just going to draw a line through that last race. Well, you kind of have to, because was in for 10,000 at a mile and stumbled right at the break when breaking from the 10 of 10 and unseated jockey Christian Torres. But again, draw a line through that one. Does take a drop in condition into the beaten ranks for those new connections. It was claimed off of that little miss going there. Steve does well off the purchase. Solid over off tracks as well. In the money, 4 of 6. And I would like to see this 9-year-old a little bit closer to the pace than he has been in his last couple of starts. Race number 8 is a first level allowance for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, and they are going to contest a mile and a 16th in the field of 7. So here's a look at the entrance. And Matt, this is an interesting group as well.
It is. A number of these runners here have tried this allowance condition plenty of times. It's a first-level allowance and haven't been able to get the job done. One of them is number 4, Under the Palms, who ran at this condition 2 starts ago, stalked the pace, and was just nipped late by Claret Beret, who did not get a great trip that day and still won. Under the Palms got a gorgeous trip and just wasn't good enough. But Claret Beret was privately purchased out of that race by Safi Joseph Jr., so that tells me that maybe she's got some upside. Last time out, Under the Palms ran in the Tri-Vista handicap and was 4th best there in an overnight stake. She's back in against easier foes today, and I like her chances this afternoon against this field assembled.
I'm going to go with the number 3. She Makes a Point. Fernando Jara aboard for trainer Norm McKnight. Does race second off the freshening, where the barn is 14% and just missed last out after setting the early fractions and was headed at the top of the lane and hung on to run second, beaten just a nose at a whopping 51-1. That race also contested at a mile and a 16th. Does race second off the claim and second off the freshening for the barn, and second off the claim and lay off the barn, both 16% in those respective divisions. So is going to test the off-go for the first time today, but I'm thinking could get out to the front onto an easy lead and hopefully stay there, not get nosed.
And the good news for this mare is she has very good form on turf. You would think that a horse that likes turf would not be able to stay on the slot because sometimes they can't transfer to fast track. A lot of times it's the opposite. The
Yeah,
turf
they
form
tend
can
they tend to
transfer well this
favor it,
long.
yes, and has good synthetic form as well.
Yes.
So something about those turf runners seem to do well. I think they usually have like a larger, kind of a flatter foot,
Yep.
and maybe can travel over and off track, maybe just a little bit easier. Race number 9 is for 3-year-olds. They're maiden claiming $50,000, and they're going to go 6 furlongs. I guess Norm Cassie does not want to start his first-time starter over the mud and out of the rail. So scratch the number 1 Cannon. Can't blame him at all for that one. But we are going to now have a field of 9.
Yes, and in the field of 9, I'm picking a Keith Asmussen, Steve Asmussen, jockey trainer combination here. Lottery win number 9. This horse has run very poorly in maiden special weights. His first 2 career races at Churchill Downs, takes a 4-month break. With these poor runs in mind, even if Steve dropped this horse even lower, I wouldn't have been surprised, but he's in for 50, needs a drop. Also, interestingly enough, this horse was purchased after his first 2 races, and coincidentally, he was purchased by none other than Steve Asmussen, who now owns this horse. So Steve's got like 400 horses that he trains, and if he didn't like this horse, he wouldn't have wanted him back in the barn. He would have let him sold. So I think these are all positive. He's got a few bullet works on the page. That tells me this horse is doing it on his own, because sometimes these maiden claiming types, Steve doesn't really have them roll unless they're doing it on their own. So I think there are a lot of positive signs that this horse can run well. And also, it's first time Lasix for him today. And maybe that's part of the reason he did not run well as a 2-year-old.
I'm going to go with the 9-5 morning line favorite, Putting Eagle, for your golf hunch play here. This one coming from the barn of Chris Hartman. Tyler Bacon aboard, has been getting closer to the winner's circle when dropping down in ranks, and last time was second by just over a length at today's level. So kind of a knocking at the door, is tactical, and I love the fact that this particular runner has the strongest set of Beyer speed figures collectively as a group in the field. So I'm going to go with Putting Eagle for the Hartman barn, who hopefully, from my perspective, will have a good day, because I think I picked him on top 3 times.
And they all look live on paper.
They all look live, but they don't run on paper. That's what my dad used to tell me.
And it's true.
Race number 10 is the 47th running of the Rainbow Mist. This is for Arkansas-bred 3-year-old fillies, and they will go 6 furlongs in distance. Did have a scratch of the number 1 Sky High Angel, and we've got several runners, or almost all the runners, will be making their stakes debut today.
They will, and this is always a fun race every year, supporting our state bred program. Caliente Star's my pick in here, 8-5 on the morning line. So not going out on a limb here, but this gal has been very impressive in 2 races. And both times she didn't have perfect trips and still was able to overcome those trips and won anyway. I love that last time out she beat older runners. That's very impressive. Just like number 8, She's a Dreamer. I think both runners are live, and I made them my exacta here. But Caliente Star's the pick for me, for Tammy Hornsby, our Out of the Starting Gate podcast guest from this week, and this filly is actually out of a Sydney's Candy mare, and
wow.
Sydney's Candy was my favorite horse I ever hot walked.
No kidding. I was just going to say, for the John Sadler barn. That's so cool.
He won the Santa Anita Derby, ran in the Kentucky Derby, coincidentally ran in the wet and hated it. Probably didn't want to go that distance either, and I have good memories with him, so I guess this is a little bit of a sentimental pick for me.
I'm going to go with a horse that has never contested state-bred runners, and that is the number 4, Strong Like Sarah, John Service. That name should be familiar. He is of Smarty Jones fame. Rafael Bejarano in the irons. Kind of a raced last month at Gulfstream at her base against First Level Allowance Company, and was victorious, scoring by more than a length, and is, as I said, is going to take a jump into state breds, has been racing on the East Coast her entire life. John Service says that this filly has been training better than ever, right on target. She's built like a tank, but a very attractive filly nonetheless, and should enjoy the wet track. So she is going to handle shipping and running for the first time today. They said this is obviously going to be a test for her, but she's obviously shipped well after that March 26th bullet at Palmetto. She went 4 furlongs in 47-2, and ideally from a pace scenario, says that she would like to have something to run at, and she did score that First Level Allowance from off the pace. So looks to get a good pace set up as well today in the 47th running of the Rainbow Miss. Between our 2 stakes, we have a $35,000 claimer for 4 and up, runners that have not won 3 or have not won a race since December 5th. That is opening day, and they will go 6 furlongs in a full field of 12.
Yes, love to see this. And here comes a price play for me. Vodka Martini comes off almost a 6-month layoff here after 2 very poor efforts here against tough company last year. Has a couple of bullet works on the page. The trainer, Abel Ramirez Rodriguez, first start for him, 21% first start for his barn, and he is 3 for 7 with runners first off a break over 180 days. So this barn is very capable of getting runners ready to roll. I like the fact that this horse is 2 for 3 on a wet track. He got a 90 Beyer speed figure over the slop last time we saw him racing over it at the fairgrounds in January of 24. In for 35 today, so he's in for a tag off the break, but I like this horse here on the fact that he likes the wet going, and he's very versatile. He's got tactical speed. He's got a great running style. I don't think we're going to get 10-1 the more I think about it when we look at how well he's done on wet surfaces, but I also think that this horse, maybe some people steer away as well because he's in for the tag off the layoff. His last 2 races have been poor.
Well, my third and final Chris Hartman horse of the day is the number 1, Santos Dumont. I loved this horse last season and prior. Kind of a interesting 8-year-old, does return off a 281-day layoff, but the barn excels when bringing horses back off of similar freshenings, about 24%. Major class relief from that 4th last out against second-level allowance company, option 80 claimers. That race back in June at Churchill. Does have some very solid works on the return and is coming back sprinting. Has never contested 6 furlongs in the 20-race career, so is going to contest that for the first time today, and is in the money though, 3 of 4 starts over a wet surface. So I'm going to see if Santos Dumont can maybe either needs a race or can get the job done at first asking off of a significant layoff. Our 12th and final on the Sunday program is the 52nd running of the Rainbow Stakes. This is set to go 6 furlongs for Arkansas-bred 3-year-olds, and we did have a scratch of the number 4 Dawson James, but 8 Arkansas breds ready to go.
Ready to go here, and I'm ready to go to pick a wild card in here. I made a change in my pick here this morning. I just thought about it, and I had to go with the Denny workout horse, Hicko, number 5.
Okay.
A first-time starter in this race for Ron Moquette, who has been working very well in the mornings. Go to oaklawn.com/racing/workouts to find workouts from all sorts of horses at all different levels here at Oaklawn. This horse can run for sure, and I don't think it's a coincidence they're starting him out here in a stake race. We've seen this before. The mud, who knows if he'll like the mud? Who knows if he's ready first out? But he's been working for a while. I think he is ready, and they're not putting an Arkansas bred in this race first out unless they think he can run. And Ron's got a lot of Arky breds back there, so that tells me they think this horse is pretty nice, and he's worked like a nice horse. Was actually working out with him, who was very impressive on debut, and he didn't outwork him, but he wasn't that far off. So I'm thinking Hicko can run, and I'm going to take a shot.
Yeah, I've used Hicko 4th, sired by Lord Nelson, who is 19 or 20% with runners over and off track. I'm going to go to the far outside. Love the post position for the number 9 War Mule. Kind of wavered back and forth with my top 2, but this one does get the nod after running 3rd against older first level allowance company and was beaten by a 4- and 5-year-old respectively. So does get back in against 3-year-olds. Mom, I'm doing a show right now, sorry. And gets reunited with Christian Torres in the irons, who was aboard for the maiden debut victory, which was contested over the mud during his 2-year-old campaign. So a very interesting. War Mule is making the stakes debut, as are many others, and we'll see if Burl McBride, who won the race in 2007 with the Rainbow Miss, he won the 2019 Rainbow Stakes, can get a victory. But it's interesting. Randy Morse won the Rainbow Miss last year. He's got a solid chance to maybe win the Rainbow Stakes this year as well with getting by. So a very interesting stakes, interesting from a handicapping standpoint because a lot of these have not contested off tracks before, but a lot of good stories with these Arkansas breds as well.
Absolutely, and we've touched on it before that when you have a strong state breeding program, typically translates into the product, and it's very, very, very important. I think it's crucial to have a good state bred program And we have one of the best here in Arkansas with the money we give out. At this point in time, if you've got a mare here in Arkansas, you want to make those babies because you can make good money and have a lot of fun.
Really good money, and you're seeing a lot of breeders be very dominant in the sales ring because they're making that money off of those breeders awards as well. And you're seeing Arkansas breds run for the same purses as open companies. So just in the last even 5 years, we've seen the program really, really go up from a trajectory standpoint. So it's only going to go up from there.
It's rare to see that the state bred races are the same as the open company.
Yes.
And in a lot of cases, it's a little more for the state bred. So it's a good, fair game for everybody, knowing that, hey, the open company runners run for the same amount as the Archie breds. There are perks to being an Archie bred, of course. But it's just a great program here, and it's showing on the track.
Yeah, and Oaklawn is very happy to support it. Let's go ahead and take a look at our $20 show bet bonus parlay ticket and our long shot and our best bet, sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Matt's $20 show bet bonus parlay starts in race number 6 with Handsome Herb, goes to Under the Palms, Caliente Star, and War Mule, as he is using both of our Arkansas bred stakes. I'm going to start out with the opener with Great Barrier, then Blame JD in the second, then a pair of 4s with Putting Ingle and Strong Like Sarah. And your picks only have to run first, second, or third to make some money out of that show bet bonus parlay. Vodka Martini might be Matt's cocktail stakes winner, and race number 11 is his long shot play of the day, while I go in race 7, number 11, Logical Myth. Nice job, graphics. Top pick sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. I'm going to go with Espionage in the 4th, and Matt goes with Caliente Star in the Rainbow Miss.
We got 12 races on Saturday, Apple Blossom Day.
Good
Just
to
got
know.
a text. They're about to draw here for the Apple Blossom Day card in a little bit. So we want to look forward to today, of course, Nancy. But just get ready for Saturday.
But we are
Torpedo
definitely
Anna, the
looking
horse of the
forward.
year.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to Saturday. We will not run only the Grade 1 Apple Blossom, but also the Grade 3 Count Fleet Sprint Handicap, which I personally believe should be a Grade 2.
I agree.
Given the fact of these just excellent sprinters that have come out of our program.
You have to, and buyers aren't everything. We've talked about that. But that said, you have to be able to run at least 100 buyer to win the Count Fleet at this point in time. I'm not an Oaklawn history buff, unfortunately. I don't know if that was the case back in the day, but definitely in the recent times we've seen here, you got to be really fast.
You've got to be really fast, and we're talking graded stakes fast. We will find that out on this Saturday when the weather will be fabulous. I promise you that. The outlook is beautiful for the next couple of weeks. Without further ado, Matt's going to head to the roof to give you all the changes here on the Sunday program. Don't forget, it's discount days, free parking, free programs, and dollar dogs to get that you got that belly growl on a Sunday morning. That's a good thing to fill it up with. How do you like your hot dogs? Do you eat hot dogs?
I like them well cooked. I don't eat them that much.
I mean, like what do you like on them?
Oh, I don't like that much on them.
Okay.
I mean, I used to. You're gonna find this is funny. I used to get this cheese dog in the Bay Area, and it was just like well cooked hot dog with cheese on it.
That sounds pretty
It
good.
was very good.
That sounds really good. I love a good Chicago dog.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But I'm just
especially like outside the stadiums, you know, where they cook.
Oh, those are the best ones when they're in the hot
really
water.
good.
Oh, yeah,
but I
that's
am
good.
more of a burger guy.
Okay,
I will say that.
I'm a burger guy, but I love the dollar dogs here on discount days.
Yes.
Just a little bit of mustard, a little bit of relish, and I love them. Now that I'm gonna have to go get a dollar dog, so you'll see me in the paddock throughout the course of the afternoon. And live racing does return Friday, but for now we have a first post of 11:45 here for the 12 race card. Good luck.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching and wagering on Oaklawn Park. Folks, without further ado, we now ask you to please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can now get out your pens, pencils, and programs because we now have today's changes. Here they come. A 12-race program today. Our track condition listed as muddy. 47 degrees currently, overcast skies, north winds coming in. Again, our track condition listed as muddy. Here come the changes on a 12-race card. The first race begins the early pick 5 sequence, scratch number 6, Butchie Boy. Number 6, Butchie Boy scratched out of race 1. Also in the first race, number 2, Principal Anita is 3 pounds overweight. The second race begins the early pick 4 sequence. No changes in race number 2. Turning to the third race on the program, scratch number 1, Copper Echo. Number 1, Copper Echo scratched out of race 3. Also in the third race, number 5, Rhino Wrecker is 1 pound overweight. 10, Improbable First, 2 pounds over. In the fourth race on the program today, number 1, Principe Carlo is 1 pound overweight. The fifth race on the card starts the middle pick 5, races 5 through 9. Scratch the also eligible number 13, Worth Looking, and number 6, Go West, is 1 pound overweight. In the sixth race on the program this afternoon, the sixth race begins the middle pick 4, races 6 through 9. Scratch number 2, Safford. Also scratch number 11, John Street Band. Numbers 2 and 11, both scratched out of race number 6. Also in the sixth race, number 10, Lucky Destiny, is 1 pound overweight. And we have a rider change on number 4, Bad Boy for Life. Make the jockey Francisco Arrieta. Francisco Arrieta riding number 4, Bad Boy for Life, in race number 6. In the seventh race on the program today, number 3, Deflator is 1 pound overweight. Scratch number 6, Katath. Also take out number 12, Southern Sunset, and scratch the also eligible number 13, Sonovan. Number 6, 12, and 13. All out for race number 7. In the eighth race on the program today, number 6, Key to Success, is 1 pound overweight. 7, Perfect Shot, 1 pound over as well. In the ninth race on the program, number 1, Cannon, has been withdrawn. Scratch number 1, Cannon, in race number 9. Start of the pick 4, that's races 9 through 12. The 10th race on our program is next. The 47th running of the Rainbow Mist Stakes, $150,000 guaranteed. Arkansas bred 3-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs. We scratch number 1, Sky High Angel, in race 10, the Rainbow Mist. Scratch number 1 in race 10 today. Also in the 10th race, number 5, Very Cosmopolitan, 2 pounds overweight. 6, Morally Complex, 2 pounds over. 9, Millie's Stardust, 4 pounds overweight. The penultimate race on the card is race number 11 today. We're clear in race 11. No changes there. And the 12th race, our co-feature, the 52nd running of the $150,000 Rainbow Stakes. For 3-year-old Archiebreds going 6 furlongs. In race number 12, scratch number 4, Dawson James. Scratch number 4, Dawson James in race 12. Also in the nightcap race 12, number 5, Hicko is 2 pounds overweight. 6, Lord of Rhymes, 2 pounds over as well. Those are all the changes, ladies and gentlemen. Post time for the opener is coming up in 24 minutes. Enjoy your afternoon watching and wagering on Oaklawn Park, where the sun always shines.
My name's Tyler Bacon, and I'm from Crow Agency, Montana, and I'm 17 years old. I grew up on the Crow Indian Reservation. It's not a very big town. It's a little town with about 2 gas stations, so I'm not really much of a big city guy. When I was younger, my uncle Cody, he owned Indian relay horses, so I was around horses my entire life. Probably like 6, started riding ponies around with my friends, like around town on the reservation. They had little fairs, and on the weekends they run horses and Indian relays. The reservation I'm from, it has a little racetrack. I think it's about 6 furlongs maybe, but that's where I rode my first gate race actually. A couple days after I turned 16, that's right when I got my license, so it wasn't very long. As soon as I got to the track, they entered me up on some horses, and I galloped a few, worked a few out of the gate, and that was about it. When I first started riding in Fauner Park, my first win, that horse pretty much drug me around the track.
Southwestern Hope is trying to get home in the Fauner 6 and will get the job done.
I didn't whip him or nothing. I just guided him around there, and he took me to the winner's circle.
Congratulations to jockey T.W. Bacon on his first career win.
After Fauner, I went to Iowa and Prairie Meadows, started riding there, and my agent, Brian, he got a hold of me and he told me about Oaklawn, so that's when I came here and decided to ride here. I've had a lot of people that helped me out, like D. Wayne Lucas, Christian Torres. They've all been helping me out a lot. Every jockey wants to win the Kentucky Derby, so I think that'll be very cool. That's probably one of the races that I want to win.
At the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, we believe in giving every thoroughbred a second chance.
And thanks to you, the owners, trainers, breeders, and every supporter,
You've created a ripple effect of change that's helping these magnificent animals move on to new careers and safe, fulfilling lives after racing.
Every single donation, whether big or small, is contributing to a brighter future.
But this race is just beginning. Because of you, we have gained incredible momentum and we're ready for more.